Alright, we're continuing the build-up to the All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championship final this coming weekend, Kilkenny against Limerick, and we're at the esteemed and the famous pitches of James Stephens, the village club here in Kilkenny City. Delighted to be joined by two absolute legends of both the club and county, I think it's fair to say. Joe Hennessy beside me and Fan Larkin on the far end. Lads, how are you keeping?
Very good, Shane, thank you very much.
Oh, we're not too bad, we're still above ground.
Well, that's the place to be, that's the place to be. You lads would have played with each other, presumably, for a number of years at least.
Oh yes. We started in 1996, 95 we say, 1995 senior, didn't we, Joe?
We'll get the calculators out here, will we?
Maybe 85, man.
Oh, would it?
We'll go back another 10. Around 85, yeah. We had a nice bit of success in the club and won a few county titles and 2 club All-Irelands. Now the club has 3, but myself and the Fan won 2 in the 80s there.
What is the
76 and 81, sorry. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. You were close enough there, lads. You took your time to get to the numbers, but we got there. The club itself, like the village, I suppose when you're driving around Kilkenny, you hear the esteemed stories of the village club and all the players that have passed through. It must mean a lot to the both of you, this pitch, and the memories you have here as well.
Yeah, that's true, Shane. Yeah, going back over the years, and success was scarce enough back then. You know, it took 90. I suppose Fan played in the '69 county final, and that set the foundation for all the young lads like myself coming on after. And when they made the breakthrough in '69, we came on and won a club All-Ireland after and another one, and all the other young lads came on, Fan's son and all Brian McAvoy and all those, they came on and won another one. So it's a kind of you hand over, it's like the hand over the baton, yeah.
That '69 final must have been a special one for you, Fan.
It was the first one they won since 1937 or 35. We said that was the first senior championship they won. My father was on that, and they won another one in 37, and they didn't win another one then till 69. They won a junior one in 54, but that was the start of it then, from there on.
Presumably back then as well, it was, I guess, club level even today is so professional in the way, in all but payment, I suppose. But back then it was a little bit different. You could probably enjoy yourselves and have the little bit of fun in between matches, you'd imagine, as well.
Yeah, well, the fun, even we hurling with Kilkenny, we always give what the lads are giving now, and we trained every bit as hard. But we all enjoyed it. I mean, if I wanted to go out to have a pint of a Saturday night before an All-Ireland, I could go down and drink 1 or 2, you know, and then no one be any the wiser.
I think was it you, Joe, talking about Frank Cummins before? I remember you talking about he worked in demolition, and even the night before in All Ireland he was down in Cork working.
That's right, yeah. I remember speaking to him the night after that night we won the 82 final against Cork. Fan was a selector the same day, and Cork were red hot. But anyway, I was having a bit of a chat with Frank, and he said he was up on the wall. Got down off it at 5-12 the night before the 82 All-Ireland final. He had a job to do and it had to be done at a certain time down in Cork. And that's the way it was then. You worked and you played. But like Fan said, he could have a pint. I didn't drink, but I remember going down to the likes of Kittler Rosine or the Carlton Ballroom where Tin Lizzie could be playing, whoever, and you go down and see him, no problem of a Saturday evening. You go over to the park and play with Kilkenny in a league match on a Sunday. But that was no problem. But like he's gone, as Fan said, he's gone professional now. But you'd play and you'll get on with whatever the occasion, whatever the time span you're in, and that's the way it is.
It's funny, isn't it, how much it's changed over the years. Like, because that 82 final you talk about, you say Cork were favourites. They were very heavy favourites, weren't they? And that was one of the greatest All Ireland. I wouldn't say greatest All Ireland upsets, because that'd be unfair on yourselves, because I'm sure you went into it fancying yourselves. But certainly the outsiders thought it was Cork's. Yeah,
well, Cork. I was at the Munster final. They beat Waterford by 39 points in Thurles, and you know, most people said that team won't be beaten. But you see, when they come up to Croke Park, it's a different atmosphere. And Kilkenny, as Fan will tell you, Kilkenny loved Croke Park. And they're a different animal when they go in there. Maybe the teams that come up out of Munster mightn't be as comfortable in Croke Park. I don't know what it is. But an All-Ireland final day is a great leveller.
Yeah, but you see, Kilkenny that team won 2 national leagues. Well, they won 3 national leagues because they came up from 2nd division and 2 All-Irelands. And no one. But the lads over them, we had a great team that time. All them lads won under 21 medals and minor medals. I mean, they weren't new to the game. You know, to win the minor All-Ireland in Kilkenny or an under 21, you're on a stepping stone. You know, and it's very competitive here. It's like the lads today now. The lads are playing next Sunday. most of them have underage medals. You know, they're not new to it. You know.
They're used to winning, I suppose, from underage up.
Yeah, well, that's the name of the game. They're used to winning, and the lads before them won it. And when they pass on the baton, there'll be lads coming to take it up. You know.
Do both of you respectively remember getting the call up to the Kilkenny team for the first time? Because obviously you would have played minor and at 21s as it was back then as well. But that first call up to the senior team in the black and amber must have been a pinch me moment.
Yeah, I got a call up after we win Club All Ireland, and the lads were after winning the 75. Fan was playing cornerback against Galway in the 75 All Ireland, but they had been out to America, and you know the way some lads retire or whatever, and there was an opening, and I must be next on the list. And God rest him, Paddy Grace rang me one night and I couldn't. But you know what, I mean, I was delighted to get a call up because, you know, you're hurling with all the lads there. You're watching these lads winning All Ireland. So every young lad in Kilkenny wants to win one All Ireland anyway. You know, it's a badge of honour. It's nice to walk around the street. You see a lad and you say, he's going to win an All Ireland or he hasn't got one. And you hope that the day will come when the people that you know, lads you in the club here and all the old clubs, you'd love to see a lad win the first All Ireland, which is a great call up to get.
Well, the first time I was called up, it's well before year time, I was called up for a Wednesday night. We were playing Tipperary in a league match, and they were after being beaten again Dublin, or Wexford, above in Dublin the week before. And I got a call up for a Wednesday night. Your car pick you up and you're playing a Sunday against Tipperary. A big baptism of fire, let me tell you. I played with Link Welch, John Maher, Mickey Welch, you know, all them great players. Ollie Welch on goal. You know, it was dream come true. And I must say we didn't win the same day. We were bet before points.
It was a baptism of fire of sorts then.
Yeah.
Father Tommy Maher was a name that I mean crops up all the time. I mean, I know a lot of lads would have been taught maths by him. Even I think Eddie Kerr maybe obviously would have been under those teams. But one of these lads who everyone knew, everyone respected. And he probably brought the maths into the coaching in some ways as well. Like,
well, Father Tommy Maher, well, I didn't go to college. I went to work. Like probably Joe the same. We went to work after we left school and couldn't get over it quick enough. But we knew Father Tommy Maher because Father Tommy Maher was over the college team that time, and he was over the Kilkenny minor team, and then he was over the 57 team. He trained the 57 team to beat Wexford in the Leinster final. Wexford were after winning, we say, from 54 on, and the Wexford men were all big men, and Father Maher brought a game in to keep the ball moving on the ground. And while I was hurling, he was the trainer until I gave it up, you know.
It's funny the Kilkenny Limerick pairing because it's 50 years ago since the 73 final, which I guess for Limerick people was a long time in their minds before the 2018 one happened. What are your memories, fan, of that 73 game in particular?
Well, the 73 team, we were short 4. We were short Tracy, Emma Morrissey hurled here, he went to Australia, Eddie Kerr and Kieran Purcell. Now, not taking that, and the lads came in, done their job and hurled well. But on the day, you'd have to say Limerick were the better side. You know, they were the better side, they were the dominant team in Munster. And but there's nothing we could do. It was a kind of a wet day and it was tough. But they were the better team on the day. And Richie Bennett playing centre field, he never missed a free. You know, he hit every free over the bar. You know, and
that helps. That definitely helps.
I won a minor All Ireland at Kilkenny against Galway. I was 17 and Fan played that day, but they won the All Ireland the following year, and we lost the minor the following year. So that was a stepping stone. Again, you get to taste the Crow Park as a young lad. Yeah. And of course, you always want to go back again, and lucky enough we did.
But the point about Limerick now is Limerick won 3 All Irelands in the 30s. They won 34, 36 and 40. And my father was playing on them 3 days. Right. And they won Kilkenny won in 35, They were beaten in 36. My father was the captain, and they were beaten in 40. Well, Limerick never appeared in an All-Ireland final again till 1973. And now till this team came. Now, and Limerick had great hurlers in all them times. They had a great team in the 50s. Dermot Kelly and all them lads were playing. I think it was 55 or 6. They were betting the Munster final. They had great hurlers, but they never got the breakthrough. But the team they have now is a very good team, very good team.
It's funny, lads, I was chatting to Owen Larkin earlier in Langtons, and he was talking about, even that he won Hurler of the Year in 08, and he's got 2 All-Stars, I think, in total. And he was saying, when you win those All-Stars when you're a player, you don't really pay any heed to them. It's all about the team thing. But when you're sitting over a bar stool or having a coffee, and you're well retired, do you look back? I think you lads have 9 All-Stars between you, if I'm right in saying. Yeah. So, do you look back with pride and honour, more so now maybe than at the time?
You would, Shane. Look at you win anything in Kilkenny, whether it's a club match or a county final of any grade, or go on and be lucky enough to play with Kilkenny and win anything, a National League title, Leinster title, an All-Ireland, and maybe lucky enough to win a couple of All-Stars. They're hard won because you're up against the best. Sometimes it falls your way and maybe someone else would win, it goes around. But in general, they wouldn't be easy win now. You said Owen Larkin have 2, but look at the man could have 5 or 6.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
But the point about being an All-Star, at that time when we were there, when it came out first, when Carroll's had it, that if you didn't win the All-Ireland, see, the team that won the All-Ireland that time, you get a trip to America. And to most of us wouldn't be outside Kilkenny only for hurling. For hurling.
True.
And if you didn't get, win the team, you could be saying to yourself, maybe I'll be picked as an All-Star. But you'd have to play well. Now, you wouldn't be picked just for the sake of picking, And that's what we used to be.
Or if you were sent off, Shane, you could star in an All-Ireland final, and maybe a week or 2 after your club could be playing, and you could get sent off. That was the end of the All-Star.
Yeah.
That's the way it was.
Back down to earth fairly quickly.
Yeah, well, no, the way it was, I was put off twice.
Only, was it, Fan?
That's all.
wasn't your fault though, Fan?
Oh, no, I'll have to say...
It was never his fault.
I'll have to say, I'd hand up. But I lost an All-Star, in 72. Well, I had a chance of winning one. We won the All-Ireland. And in 75, we won the All-Ireland, I'd have a chance. But I was put off in the Leinster final in 72 and in the league semi-final against Galway in 75. And rightly so, hand up. Was a ball boy. That's the way.
It's funny, Fan, because you look back even videos of yourself and you weren't the tallest cornerback or fullback that there's ever been. You look at some of the Limerick players now, and yet, the damage you could do. And Tommy Welsh, funny, was the same, and Tommy comes on with us and off the ball quite often. Tommy wasn't the tallest man in the world, but Jesus, he could, and you were the same, make up for it in other things,
Yeah, but the point about it is, height is great. A good big man is better than a good small man. Everyone knows that. But you see, it's the way you work. You see, the game is, and we playing it was completely different, Now, you couldn't get a corner forward up playing corner back, running up, or a corner back going up, Mickey Butler scoring a goal. At that time, you'd be staying in your position. You could be playing on McKenna or playing on Ray Cummins, and they'd stand in the square. And you had to be there to be with them,
Has the game gone too complicated now, Joe? Do you reckon, in terms of the sweeper system? You saw Clare getting caught out by it in the semi-final against Kilkenny even with the short puck out. Has some of the tactics gone too complicated, or is it just fair enough that it's always adapted?
No, I think it has been complicated. But for the supporters, I think it was better, would say, 70s, 80s, 90s, that you're hurling, a good cornerback was hurling on a great corner forward, we'll say. And people would be saying, leading up to a game, just, will your man be able for the forward, whatever. Now, all that's gone out the door now. As Fran said, you have a cornerback, he goes up and scores, brilliant. But you wouldn't be leaving Ray Cummins idle down there. Yeah. I mean, he'd stick the ball in the net before he'd be back down. It's his different now. And sure, look, you have to play the way, like I said earlier, you just have to, whatever is in front of you, play what's in front of you.
Yeah, but the way the game has gone now, it's all possession. Years ago, the overhead hurling was in it. Limerick were great at that. Foley and them lads, when they were playing in the 70s, they were great. Cregan, when he was playing centre back, great overhead hurler. All them lads. But that's gone now. but the pulling on the ground is gone.
Yes.
Bar the goal Gallant scored again with the Clare in the Munster final, that the ball came back and he met it on the drop and he buried it. You don't see that now.
Yeah.
No, and what's more now in the Bithend, the game is tougher and it's faster and all that. But you'd never see a hurdle broken it, would you?
You broke a good few, Van?
No, but would you though? In all honesty, no. You'd never see a hurdle broke.
It's funny, because even chatting to Martin Fogarty earlier, he was talking about Connor, his lad Connor. Obviously, he's got a couple of injuries in the last couple of years of broken shins. He had the same broken shin a couple of times that hurls were pulled on him, but you don't see it too often.
No.
We don't see enough of it. Because the people, the public and the paying public, they love the bit of timber broken. No, and trouble now is, it's gone out of it, and when even the local matches around, when the referee hears two hurls clattering off one another, it's free.
Yeah.
It knocks the good out of the thing. And even the Gaelic football is killing it as well. Not enough of it, not enough physical stuff in it.
Yeah.
The public likes a bit of action.
I don't want the referee to let it flow as well, I suppose.
Yeah, but the point about it is the referee could let it flow. If you go back now 2 years ago, John Keenan Wicklow refereed the Munster final, Clare and Limerick. And we were all at it now. And Jesus, it was some match. And he let go. But there was a lad above in the stand, an assessor. And they castigated the man at a meeting. Why he should have done this and he should have done that, But everyone in the park and everyone on the television thought it was a great game.
The public loved it. A bit of timber, you know.
Yeah, and that's what the public ought to see. They don't like to see a lad hand passing it here and a run and a lad doing that and next minute the referee blowing a whistle a free. You know.
I think it's John Keenan refereeing again this weekend.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Very good referee.
I'm fairly sure.
And I hope he lets it go.
Yeah.
And look, there'll be hopefully if there's a couple of bit of timber broke, none of us will be disappointed with that.
Were you both surprised to see? Not surprised, but like when Cody stepped aside last year, I guess there was a lot of pressure and media talk about being a poison chalice to take over this job after Cody had left. It was almost like Alex Ferguson or Arsene Wenger leaving, but Derek Ling has really stepped up.
Yeah, but Brian was there, would say it was 22 or 3 years, and it took a huge amount out of the man's life. He had great success and everything and that. But how could you keep going and going? The days always, the minute you come in as a hurler even, the minute you start out, the days, that's like a conveyor belt moving along. The change is always coming. New lad coming. You're after replacing someone as you start out with the Kilkenny team or even the club team. Same with the manager. You get a run going and next thing it moves on again. So I don't think there was a huge surprise. It was always going to be a matter of when, not if. You know, the day always comes and there'll always be a new man to take over. And Derek Ling has it now, and best of luck to the man on Sunday.
Yeah, but you see, would Brian now, great job and all that, but this will be the 9th year since we won an All-Ireland.
Yeah.
We didn't win an All-Ireland since 2014, is it?
No, 16 was it?
No, 14 or
15
16.
maybe, or 16 was Tip.
Yeah. We won it a year
It's a bit of a
before.
famine. 8
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
8 years since
Yeah,
that.
yeah, you know. And the man, great work, but you'd have to look what the players went through. I mean, you don't get them type of players overnight. Now, like Limerick, like the Limerick team.
Yeah, they won a couple of 21s. They were coming, you see.
They were coming. But when they go, you know, you don't last forever. And the way the training is done and all that, if a lad reach into his 30s, he'll be doing terrible well.
Yes.
And
You
TJ
know,
Reid doing great at 36.
36.
And he was written off. There's another man written off at the start of the year by some pundits saying he was over the hill.
Superstar.
But what
hurler,
makes him so good is that every free he gets, he'll plank it. He's in the game the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, that's what man. And he's great delivering the ball to the young lads. He's probably one of the best they ever had, you know.
We should get, before we finish up, lads, to this Sunday's final and how we see it going. Again, last year's final, I guess, Limerick came out of the blocks very quickly. I think they were a goal and 2 points before Kilkenny registered, and Geroge Haggerty ended up having an unbelievable match for Limerick that day. But how can this match be won by Kilkenny this weekend? Because it feels like they've certainly closed the gap, if not overtaken.
I would say Kilkenny have definitely closed the gap. It'll be fast and furious. I think probably 4 or 5 subs will be used on both teams. Limerick got a great start last year, and still, with a couple of minutes to go, we were 2 points down. Ball was down around the 21-yard line in our back line, and the lads busted it, done everything to try and get the ball up. Now, what happened in the Leinster final, we needed another ball into the forwards, and look, we got a little bit of luck and we got a goal. But had we got up that ball, maybe, who knows. But from the time Haggerty got the goal, There were nothing between the teams. Now, Limerick were the best team on the day. We'll never take anything from a winning team. But I think the hurt from last year's losing, find they're back in it real quick. That's the secret here. And the hurt could drive them on. I think they'd be good enough. And again, a little bit of luck.
Well, I thought myself we had the chances last year in the last 10 minutes. Because Reid drove 2 fierce balls wide from 70 yards. And so did Deegan. And how our lads left Paddy Deegan and Hegarty for the hour, it's a mystery to us, you know. But even in saying that, but Limerick, when Limerick went up and scored, Limerick, Galan and your man, that Morrissey lad, and Hayes, they're 2 powerful men, you know, 3 powerful men. Yeah. They'll take fierce stopping, you know.
Jeez, that Limerick half-back line is a dangerous one. That's the thing as well, like with Tom Morrissey and Kyle Hayes, these lads. But the 4 in a row, I guess, you know, that Kilkenny team of, what was it, 06 to 09? Yeah. And only Cork and the 40s, I think, have done it previously. So, I mean, Kilkenny of all teams will be desperate to stop a Limerick 4 in a row.
Yeah, but desperate to stop it. But at the same time, we're now leaders of the Roll of Honour. We were behind Cork and Tipperary for years and years, and now we're well ahead of them. So Cork and Tip have no chance of getting near us this Sunday, but we have a chance of going 1 more ahead and stopping Limerick, of course, from doing the 4 in a row. But the incentive is there for the lads to get a medal, the lads that don't have one, the lads and other lads trying to get a 2nd or 3rd or 4th or whatever it is.
But the big thing now in hurling is the free taking. You take Burns now. Well, he'd pine nothing from his own 50-yard line. Well, when we hurling, if you got the ball on the 50-yard line, if you were able to drive it to the 21, you'd be saying you were doing well.
Heavier ball, you know.
Heavier ball. Yeah. The ball is and every time the ball goes over the bar or goes wide, it's a new ball. It's never the same ball.
Yes. It's all changed.
It's a new ball. To have a bag of balls there and to pick it up. Ollie Welsh, when he playing, he'd be waiting for you to throw it back or scan the umpire to throw it back to you, to hit it. Now, if Ger Hegarty, not Ger Hegarty, Ger Cunningham and Ollie Welch were playing today, they'd be driving it wide or scored.
I tell you, sometimes you never lose the touch of the ball, because I saw a video of you, Fan, I think from 2017. Could have been on this pitch. You were doing something for charity with the club, and there was a few washing machines on the pitch, and you belted a couple of balls into the washing machine from a decent enough distance, so you obviously never lose it.
There was money on that, I think.
Oh, television, Joe. Television.
He won a telly, yeah.
You won the washing machine, maybe.
He broke the washing machine and he won a television.
Yeah. Can I ask you, lads, before we finish, and you've probably been asked this question, I'm sure, a number of times before. If you had to pick one player you have both ever played with and played against, top of the piles. I know when you consider the teams that you played against and the players you played with, it's not an easy one to answer, but if I had to put you on the spot and you were asked to pick one of each.
Playing with, I'll go with Jared Henderson, and playing against probably John Fenton of Cork.
Right. Why was Fenton so good?
He was a class player. He was very skillful, reading of the game, everything about him. Just had that extra little bit of special stuff, yeah.
And you?
You'd have to say Kerr and hurling with, and I'd say hurling again. I'd say the best hurler I ever saw playing centre back was Billy Rackard.
Right.
Yeah. I hurled against him in the early 60s.
Just read the game well.
Oh, jeez, he was brilliant. He looked, and he was immaculate. You know, big man like Hegarty. Big man, but a fine hurler.
Brilliant. Well, listen, there's plenty of fine hurlers on the Kilkenny team and the Limerick team indeed ahead of this weekend. Are you both heading down to Croker,
yeah,
presumably?
Absolutely, Shane. Yeah, looking forward to it now.
We're expecting you to have 2 tickets.
I'll have a look in the bag there before we go.
He never changed.
I was hoping you lads might have tickets for me. But listen, lads, Fan Larkin Joe Hennessy, an absolute pleasure, and listen, best of luck to the Cats this weekend.
Thank you very much, Shane. Thank you.
Yeah.